Hey everyone, hope you're having a good Sunday. I am home a little bit early today. Usually we're gone a little bit more as we go to church and go out to eat with family and stuff like that. But we came home today after church, and so I am working on doing a little bit of meal prepping. I'm not going to do all of it until later in the day, but I want to share with you a little bit about what I do to get started and kind of my thought process behind it, because this is taking me a couple of years to get to the point of even attempting it, because I used to look at pictures and videos of people who are like real extravagant with their meal prepping, and their refrigerator is like completely organized, and it would totally freak me out. And if you're anything like me, I would be like, and just kind of shut down and not try it at all. So I wanted to share with you a couple of things that I do. I posted a picture this morning that where I mentioned just finding the few little things that hold you back from cooking or making a healthy meal. What are the things that slow you down, or are things that take a little bit more time that kind of trip you up during the week when you're having a busy day or a hectic evening or lots of kids activities or something like that. So things as simple as cutting up onion ahead of time. You can even freeze onion. So if you're going to cut up one, cut up three, divided it up, put some in the freezer. I use bell peppers in a lot of my recipes, and just to eat by itself as a vegetable, so I'll cut that up ahead of time. I don't enjoy cutting up bell peppers at all, so I like to get it all done at once, cut like all of them up at the same time. So if y'all are jumping on, tell me hi. I don't see that anybody's here right now, but if you jump on, tell me hi so I know you're here, and I'd love to know that you're watching. Other things that I will prep in advance, like I didn't save the bag, but I oftentimes will buy packaged cut up butternut squash, like I've shared on my page before, so I don't have to worry about cutting up the butternut squash. But whenever you buy something in a package, look at the ingredients and make sure it is just that, and there's not added preservatives, added salt, sugar, stuff like that, that it's just the vegetable. So I'll buy the butternut squash ahead of time already cut up like that, so that I can just cut it up, and not cut it up, I can just mix it up with the cinnamon. I mix it with cinnamon, salt, pepper, and I use sea salt or Himalayan pink salt, and some olive oil. But I have that actually cooking in there right now. I just roasted at a low temperature, like 325, for 30 to 45 minutes. I kind of look and see how it's doing. The reason that I do it at the lower temperature, I've learned that olive oil, if it is heated at a higher temperature, it has what they call a smoke point, and that's where it kind of has its health benefits. The beneficial qualities of olive oil get destroyed because the heat is too high. So I do it at a lower temperature for a longer period of time, so the olive oil does not hit the smoke point. So doing the butternut squash in the oven right now. Over here in the Instant Pot, I have green beans cooking. So that's 2 vegetables that I will have, divide them up into portions, and then I have them ready to grab. I will also bake some turkey bacon. I use turkey bacon that does not have preservatives, no nitrates and those different things. I buy mine from Costco. It's really good. So I have that as a protein. And then I am going to make rice and quinoa and some golden potatoes to have as carbs. So what I have right here in front of me is my little Instant Pot, and I just want to show y'all what I do with my quinoa. If you've never tried quinoa, it's an often misunderstood carb, and carbs, I think, in general are misunderstood. Right now in our society, there's this fad going on right now that you shouldn't have any carbs, and we should cut all carbs out because it changes your metabolism, make you burn fat or whatever faster. I'm the believer that if you have healthy carbs in your diet, it is actually beneficial for you, and I don't think that you have to cut them out completely, but I do think that you have to get the healthy carbs. And I think most of us, when we think of carbs, we think of like chips, soda, things that aren't really carbs. It's just kind of the group they fall into because they're largely sugar, or they're converted to sugar when they get in the body. So quinoa is something that I had never tried before until I started this journey, and it actually has qualities of a protein. So it is a carb, but it has qualities of a protein. So I use it kind of as a staple every week. It doesn't have much taste, but if you don't prepare it kind of how I'm going to show you, then it sometimes can have kind of a bitter taste to it. So what I did, and I'm not going to show you all of my dirty dishes here in the sink, but what I did was I have a cup of quinoa here in the little sifter thing, and I'm going to rinse it with water. So kind of getting, it probably doesn't necessarily need to be rinsed because of how I bought it, but I rinse it with water really good and kind of shake that off and let the excess get off. And then what I do in my Instant Pot is I have it heating up on the saute function. So I threw in some olive oil, and I'm going to put this in there and let it kind of saute. So it's going to saute, and what that does is kind of take out a little bit of the bitter taste to it. And me personally, I don't think that the quinoa really has much of a taste. But when I first started making it, I didn't know to do this saute thing, and I kind of turned one of my kids off to it. 2 of them like it, 1 of them doesn't. So, you know, you can't always please those kiddos. So anyways, I'm going to actually do 2 cups of quinoa in here, so I'm going to rinse another cup. But then what I do, hey Suzanne, what I'll do is I saute that in there until kind of the moisture is absorbed. So we'll get some of the moisture out of there. It'll just kind of start sizzling a little bit. And then I just add the water in, and I close the lid on the Instant Pot. And I close the lid on the Instant Pot, and then I add the water to it. And then it goes for 1 minute in the Instant Pot. So it just cooks for 1 minute, and then after that I let it sit for 15 minutes. So it does like a natural pressure release for 15 minutes, and then I just take the lid off and let it sit for a few more minutes to kind of let some of the moisture out. And then it's good to go. I divide it up into containers so that I have it in serving sizes. Now, if you don't have an Instant Pot, the directions that are on the back of most of the bags will say to do like 1 cup quinoa. Let's see what this one says. 1 cup quinoa to 1 cup water. This one actually is different. It says 1 cup quinoa to 2 cups water. But what I normally do is 1 to 1. And so in a regular pot, I do the same thing with the olive oil. Rinse the quinoa, put it in here, and then just saute it around and let it do its little sizzling thing. And then I add the water, I put the lid on, and I boil it as the package says for that period of time, and it's usually 15 minutes, and then let it sit for 5 without taking the lid off of the heat, and then it's good to go. Then you can like fluff it and start dividing it up. So it works both ways. You don't have to have an Instant Pot, but I've found that the Instant Pot makes it much simpler. Now the water division for the Instant Pot's a little bit different. I do 1 cup of quinoa to 1.5 cups water. But I just doubled this, and for doubling it, I will not completely double the water because I found it has too much moisture. So that's about it for the quinoa, and that's really what I'm doing for meal prepping to start. I'm not going to do everything that I normally do until later today, but I wanted to get these couple of things done. Just having the butternut squash and the green beans is huge for me because I don't eat a lot of vegetables, so having them ready to go is something that helps me so that I will eat my vegetables. So if y'all have any questions about that, certainly let me know. I just wanted to share a little bit about quinoa because I think it's often misunderstood, and it is such an easy way to get in carbs. I use it like for sloppy joes instead of using bread or rice. A lot of times I have quinoa. My family may have bread to make a sloppy joe, but I'm gluten intolerant, so I've kind of cut out all bread out of my diet unless I find gluten-free. So if y'all have any questions, let me know. I don't want to make this video too long, but I am happy to share more information if y'all struggle with meal prepping too. So comment below, let me know you've watched and what questions you have, and I hope y'all have a great Sunday. All right? Have a good one. Thanks for watching, Suzanne.